in the folds of misty mountains and rivers so clear you could see the stones dance below, there lay a small village called Mei Lin. Time moved gently there. The villagers rose with the sun and slept beneath the hum of cicadas. Boys chased chickens through the streets. Old women sat weaving by the doors. Monks, in ochre robes, walked the worn stone paths in meditation. Among them lived a boy named Taro, who had just stepped into manhood. He was known for his clever mind, easy laugh, and the handsome face that often caught the shy eyes of village girls. But there was a secret that gnawed at Taro's heart. He felt empty. Though laughter filled the streets and the festivals were bright, he found no true peace. When he gave in to temptations, fleeting pleasures of the body, he always awoke with a deeper hollowness, as though something sacred within him was being carved away, one careless night at a time. His mother, a quiet and wise woman, saw the growing restlessness in her son's eyes. One evening, after the harvest festival, when the scent of roasted chestnuts hung heavy in the air, she called him to sit by the fire. "Taro, my son," she said softly, "you seek something that cannot be found in the arms of another. You are mistaking the body's hunger for the soul's longing." Taro bowed his head, the embers reflecting in his tired eyes. "But mother, I don't understand. Everyone says I should enjoy life while I'm young." She smiled a slow, sad smile. "Pleasure is like honey," she said. "Sweet on the tongue, but too much rots the teeth. Strength, real strength, is built not by chasing, but by guarding." That night, Taro could not sleep. Her words circled his mind like moths around the flame. Chapter 2. A Walk to the Temple. The next morning, he set out on the mountain path, winding higher and higher until he reached the Temple of Still Waters, a place few young men bothered to visit unless they sought blessings for marriage. There, sitting under a great banyan tree, was Master Kensho, the oldest monk in the region, his robes threadbare, his smile as wide as the river. Taro bowed low. "Master," he said, "I seek peace, but all I find is craving." Master Kensho opened one eye, peering at the young man. "And what is it you crave, my son?" Taro hesitated, shame burning in his cheeks. "Pleasure, connection, the touch of another." Master Kensho chuckled, a deep, warm sound. "You seek warmth, yet you stand in the sun and still shiver," he said. "You seek to fill a cup that has a hole at the bottom." Taro frowned. "Then how do I find real fullness?" The old monk picked up a small clay cup, pouring water into it. As he poured, he covered the hole at the bottom with his finger. "The cup must first be made whole," Kensho said. "Plug the hole. Guard your essence. Stop leaking your sacred energy." He smiled knowingly. "Only then will the water stay." Chapter 3. The Vow. Taro knelt before Master Kensho. "I vow to guard my seed, my thoughts, my spirit. I vow not to chase after every breeze, but to stand like the mountain." Master Kensho nodded. "Good. But remember, this path is not without storms." He handed Taro a small seed, round, dark, and plain. "This," said the master, "is the lotus seed. Plant it in your heart. Water it not with desire, but with patience. It blooms in its time." Chapter 4. Seasons of Testing. The days turned into months. In the beginning, it was torture. The girls of the village still flirted, the festivals still rang with temptation. His own body, young and wild, fought him with cravings. But each time the desire arose, Taro did not run from it. He sat with it. He watched it rise, and he watched it fall. At first, he sweated, he trembled. He thought he might go mad, but slowly, something changed. His body grew stronger, his mind clearer, his sleep deeper. Where once he had been easily swayed by moods, now he stood like a tree rooted deep into the earth. The villagers noticed. The girls no longer teased him lightly. They looked at him with genuine respect. The young men asked him for advice. Even the elders began to nod in approval when he passed. His mother watched quietly, pride blooming like a silent lotus in her heart. Chapter 5. The Transformations. Taro's transformation was not merely in the eyes of others, it was in the essence of his being. 1. His mind sharpened. He could study for hours without boredom. Ideas came effortlessly, like rain falling from a generous sky. 2. His body strengthened. Though he did not train like a soldier, his body became firm, resilient. He could carry heavy sacks of rice without strain. He could run the mountain paths without tiring. 3. His spirit deepened. When anger flared around him, petty village quarrels, lovers' spats, he remained serene, like a pond undisturbed by falling leaves. 4. His presence became magnetic. Children ran to him. Animals seemed calmer near him. His mere presence soothed hearts. 5. His dreams became clear. Where once he dreamed of meaningless pleasures, now he dreamed of vast lakes, blooming lotuses, golden temples. Chapter 6. The true test. One spring, a beautiful stranger came to the village. A dancer from a far-off land, wrapped in silks, with eyes like dark moons. She saw Taro and decided she would have him. Every day she flirted, laughed, touched his hand lightly, dropped her scarf for him to retrieve. Taro's heart did stir. His body remembered. But his spirit, his spirit was strong. One evening, beneath the red lanterns of the spring festival, the dancer approached him boldly. "Come with me," she whispered. "I will show you pleasures you have only dreamed of." Taro smiled, his face kind, unjudging. "I already live in paradise," he said. He bowed, turned, and walked away, the scent of cherry blossoms thick in the air. The dancer watched him go, puzzled and strangely humbled. Chapter 7. Legacy. Years later, Taro was no longer just a young man. He became a teacher, a sage. Not because he had chased wisdom in books, but because he had guarded his own sacred river. Because he had turned his wildfire into an eternal flame. Young men and women came to him for guidance. Children ran to him for stories. The monks called him the Lotus Guardian. And when he sat at the river's edge, his mother at his side, both of them with silver threads in their hair, he smiled quietly. He had given away nothing of his sacred self, and thus he had gained everything. Epilogue. The silent bloom night had fallen like a soft shawl over the village of Meilin. The river flowed in silver ribbons, whispering secrets to the stones. The fields, once golden with the harvest, now slept under the stars. Even the crickets sang more slowly, as if the whole world had slowed to match the breath of the earth. Taro sat cross-legged by the riverbank, his simple robes fluttering in the evening breeze. At his side, his mother sat quietly, knitting under the light of the full moon. Neither spoke. There was no need. In the hush of the world, the true bloom unfolded. It had taken years, years of quiet battles no one else had seen. Battles not against others, but against the thousand small temptations that creep like vines around the human spirit. Battles against restlessness, loneliness, the ache for validation, the longing to dissolve into the fleeting warmth of another's body. Taro had once thought strength was something loud, something fierce. Now he knew it was the opposite. True strength was silence. It was the strength to hold one's own heart without dropping it into another's hands. It was the strength to smile at loneliness like an old friend, not an enemy. It was the strength to sit with craving until it crumbled like dry leaves. As the cool night air filled his lungs, Taro realized he had not lost anything by holding himself sacred. He had gained the universe. His energy, once scattered like seeds on the wind, now pooled inside him like a hidden ocean. His mind, once clouded with restless hunger, now reflected the moon without a single ripple. His soul, once cracked with yearning, had healed into a single, unbreakable whole. Above him, the stars wheeled slowly, timeless and vast. And in his heart, the lotus bloomed, a bloom not of petals and fragrance, but of understanding, patience, and unshakable joy. He thought of the young men and women who came to him now, eyes wide with confusion, hearts heavy with longing. He thought of their questions. Master Taro, why do I feel so empty after chasing every pleasure? How do I find real happiness? How do I stop feeling like I'm always running and never arriving? And he smiled, not in pity, but in compassion. He would tell them gently, as Master Kensho had once told him, "You are not empty. You are simply leaking. Seal your vessel. Guard your fire. Let the lotus seed within you find stillness. In time, it will bloom beyond all understanding." In the distance, a nightbird called. A bamboo chime rattled softly in the temple courtyard. Taro's mother laid her hand gently over his, squeezing it with a strength that needed no words. He looked at her, his first teacher, the one who had planted the first seed of wisdom in him so long ago. He pressed her hand to his forehead in a gesture of reverence. The river kept flowing, the stars kept spinning, and Taro sat there, no longer needing to chase anything, no longer needing to grasp at what was already his, because true love, love for life, for oneself, for the whole trembling, beautiful world, had taken root inside him, silently, steadily, unshakably. The silent bloom was not a legend in some ancient scripture. It was real, it was here, it was him. And in guarding his sacred fire, he had lit a lantern that could never be extinguished. Not by time, not by loss, not even by death. Taro closed his eyes, feeling the silent bloom radiate within him. And somewhere deep in the unseen currents of the universe, the lotuses bloomed endlessly. For him, for all who chose stillness over craving, courage over surrender, love over need. The silent bloom was eternal, and now it was free.